Concerns about the scale of irregular lease deals with government, and last year was one of the worst ever years for strikes. Good evening, I'm Greg House. Public Works Minister Gwen Mahlangu Kabinde says irregularities into property lease deals with government could possibly be found to run into tens of billions of rands if an audit were to be conducted across the country. This comes after the Special Investigating Unit uncovered irregularities in more than 40 property lease deals clinched with government. The Minister says all lease agreements reached with government should be put through the same test.
Despite the fact that the proclamation was for a specific period, I would be happier if in my department we could ask the President to allow the SIU to even do a broader check to assist us to understand what's going on. I think that we may go out and punish this 41, and there are other people who are just comfortable somewhere there. Let us make sure that this test that was used on this 41 is used on everyone who's doing business with us.
The DA has called for the suspension of the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Mamonye Ngubeni, pending a probe into the 60 million rand police accommodation tender in the province. Last year, a police investigation was opened into the tender, which is allegedly linked to a Durban businessman, but it was reportedly stopped by the provincial commissioner. The Hawks have reopened the probe into the tender. The DA's Diane Kohler-Barnard.
Her suspension immediately is both essential and inevitable, and certainly before she's given any opportunity to use her position to obstruct the investigation still further. The National Police Commissioner, Becky Cele, must have been aware of these developments and the possible involvement of his provincial police commissioner and her husband, Brigadier Lucas Ngubeni. Yet he chose to do nothing.
The Labour Department says the number of working days lost due to labour action in 2010 was the highest ever recorded. The department says the number of working days lost due to strikes increased dramatically in 2010 compared to the previous 4 years. Labour Director General in Nkosinati Nhleko says more than 20 million working days were lost from 74 strikes.
The one feature, though, that in recent times we experienced is that some of these particular strike actions have been also accompanied or characterized by violence, with the result being the fact that non-striking members or some members of the community would either feel that their rights were also being infringed and trampled upon by those who were exercising their right to strike.
The Association of Development of Education in Africa, ADEA, says the continent is sitting on a time bomb with millions of unemployed youth. This is the message the association is trying to convey in its conference underway in the Ivory Coast. SABC education reporter Angela Bolowana is there.
The conference is hosting about 19 African countries, including South Africa. The focus is how African youth can be integrated into the working world. ADEA says if this is not addressed as a matter of urgency, modest gains made in many African countries in terms of development will be a thing of the past. ADEA says in Africa, 3 in 5 young people are unemployed. The conference is in preparation of a massive gathering in Burkina Faso early next year. Angela Bolana, SABC News, Ivory Coast.
The International Monetary Fund has warned that the US and the Eurozone are at increased risk of falling back into recession. The BBC's Andrew Walker.
The IMF's warning is stark. It's not saying that recession in the major developed economies is the most likely outcome, but the risks of that have increased, and the IMF says the global economy has entered a dangerous new phase. The report says that European leaders must implement the commitments to tackling their crisis they made at a summit in July.